Here is the box now that I made. I decided to just go with one so that I can just sit it in and move it side to side and see what I have on the bottom. Now I made these two boxes, and it's going to be like this, and they're going to open up like this. Okay, and what I like to do is on the inside of the boxes, once I made them, I like to also line them with hot glue, just to reinforce it. What I do is I do this, and the inside I line it with glue, and then with the gun itself, I just make it flatter, so that it's just a thin line across the edges. Okay, now in order to make these boxes be able to move open and back, I'm going to glue them onto here, and just use the natural bend that this box has already. Okay, so I'm going to lay them down on the crease like this, and then just glue it on and then just cut after that. Okay, so this is how I glued it here, right on the crease line. So see, now this naturally will close, it pushes it closed, but it still can open. For the outside, I don't have enough paper to go around, so I'm going to create my own design with these ones. I'm just going to cut out the circles. I'm going to cut out these circles and then just stick it on a white piece of paper. And I'm just gluing it on, which is also like Mod Podge. Same thing, could be Mod Podge. And just put it all around the outside and just make it white. And then I'm going to create my own design. So here I have my whole box done with white, but I made it. I already started decorating one side, as you can see. And now I'm just going to do everything, and then I'm going to continue on the inside. So this is how I glue my paper on. I just put a dab of glue like this, and then I smear it so that it's really thin. The thinner it is, the faster it'll dry, so the papers won't bend. And then I just randomly place them everywhere. Okay, this is how I glue my paper on. I grab my Elmer's glue, and then I just glue around here like this, around the edge, and then I kind of just go all crazy like that, and I just smear it with my finger. If you have a brush or something that you can use, then you know, whatever is easier for you. My kids ruined all of my brushes. So, and then you just line up the bottom and you glue it on. And then I'm just going to cut the edge right here and then fold this on the inside. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do. And it comes out good, looking pretty good. If you're using just computer paper, this, I wouldn't recommend to use that on the outside, since it does wrinkle up a little bit more than 12 by 12 than the hard paper. Okay, now that I have everything on my inside of my box white and done all prettied up, what you're going to want to do, since right here, and here I'm going to put my spools of thread, and I made these boxes that will also hold spools of thread. So altogether will probably be around 48 spools that I will be able to hold in this box. So what I'm going to do is cut half an inch wide and 6 centimeters long piece of cardboard from my like a cereal box, and then just fold this in half. Like that. And obviously it's not going to be perfect. Well, at least mine don't come out perfect. And then once you have it folded in half, you're going to put hot glue gun down the center. They're going to be kind of like this. And then you're going to cut the same amount as you cut of those cardboard box ones on white paper, or whatever color you want to correspond with your box. And then you just use white glue, Elmer's Glue School, that kids glue, which is also like Mod Podge. So if you had Mod Podge, that also works. And then you just put it on like this and wrap it around it. And I really like this new Elmer's glue that they have, because it actually makes things harder. There, now that you have done that, you're done wrapping it. What you're gonna do, I realized that it needs to be small at the top where the spool's gonna come in, just to make it a little bit easier to go in. So what I do is I just chop a piece of it like that, so that it's kind of pointed, a little bit smaller, and that way it's easier to put the spool of thread through the center. So it'll be like a lot easier and smoother. And then on the bottom, you're going to want to cut the bottom of it at an angle so that the spools of thread would be able to come out. So they're going to be like this, and so that and you're going to make sure it's not too that they're not too flat so that they won't fall off, or too tilted that like hitting the roof of your box so that the spools can't come out. Once you hot glue the box on, you're gonna just leave that ball of glue on the bottom. I think it leaves support. Now I added all this to the inside of these boxes as well. And they're all angled up, and then I ended up putting more glue on the base just to reinforce it. For the outside of it, what I'm going to do to seal it is just use Velcro, sew on Velcro. You don't want this one with the sticky back, because for the outside of it, it's going to be sticky and you're going to have to add material or something to it. But you can if you want, you know, if you're going to do something else with it. So I'm going to add Velcro to the outside of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hot glue it down, and I'm going to make sure, you have to make sure it goes all the way to the base of this so that the Velcro carries the box through the base and not just the tops, because if it's just to the bottom of this, it'll lift the box up here. So you want to make sure you go down to the bottom, to this bottom box, and then just hot glue it closed. I'm going to try to center this as much as possible. Now I'm just going to glue all of this closed. Okay, so now I have finished gluing all this. I finished gluing all the Velcro on here, and now I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife and then just cut on the slits on the lines. I'm going to do a little circle like this and hot glue it. See, I already hot glued that. And so now what this is for is just so that it's easier to pull off the Velcro. So it's just a little bit easier to grab a handle on it. Okay, here's my box, and it has the handle. I just ended up gluing it with hot glue gun. You can sew it on and then glue it, or whatever you want. Better support, I guess. See? Here's the box. I glued the bottom right here so that this won't come off at the bottom at the end, so that you won't lose it. Okay, and this box holds, I think, around 52 spools of thread, something like that. And here's my box. It comes out, and would be more spools of thread behind that. And then it'll stick here with the Velcro so that it doesn't move around. Have the same thing on the other side. And these boxes that I put on here are slightly smaller so that I can put my thumb in, be able to pull it out. And then here is my box on the inside. See, this box slides across because of the cardboard that I put here. Okay, now for the measurements. This is about 10.5 inches long. The height is approximately 11 inches. The width is almost 12 inches. So each of these boxes would be halfway, so it's 5 inches plus a little bit more each side. This height is about 6.5.